All right, if you're a leader, you are probably so tired of hearing about AI. The hype is everywhere, right? But the real question is, how do you actually turn all that buzz into a smart business strategy? Well, that's exactly what we are going to get into today. We're going to cut right through the noise and give you a clear, actionable guide based on some serious expert advice. So let's just kick things off with a quote that's going to make you stop and think. It's from Turing Award winner Judea Pearl, and he says, "Data is profoundly dumb." Now, in a world that's constantly telling us that data is the new oil, that statement really stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? It's the perfect way for us to start a much smarter conversation about what AI can really do for your business and, just as importantly, where its limits are. So where are we getting all this from? Well, our guide for this journey is Dr. Yogesh Malhotra from MIT's Computer Science and AI Lab. And look, he's not just an academic. This is a guy who's on the front lines, advising over 1,000 executives from huge companies like Google and Tesla. We're basically distilling his real-world playbook just for you.
Dr. Malhotra gets right to the heart of the #1 problem that leaders are facing. There's this massive gap between how much money companies are pouring into AI and the actual results they're getting back. And the reason? He says it's an incomplete understanding of the tech, which just leads to failed projects and a terrible return on investment. That's the exact challenge we're going to tackle head-on.
Okay, so how do we get this right? How do we avoid that trap? It really all starts with asking two fundamental questions before you even think about investing a single dollar or having a developer write a single line of code. First up, why do we actually need AI? I know it sounds super simple, but the reality for most companies is that their AI initiatives are, and I quote, all over the map. It's just this random collection of projects that aren't connected. If you don't nail down the fundamental business purpose first, you're not really building a strategy. You're just kind of experimenting and hoping for the best. And the second question is just as critical for any executive out there. I mean, the pace of change is just staggering. How in the world do you filter the signal, the stuff that actually matters, from all of the overwhelming noise of new tools, new models, and a constant stream of buzzwords?
To answer those questions, you can't just wing it. You need a strategic framework. And the one we're about to look at is so powerful because it shifts the focus away from all the shiny new technology and puts it back in what really matters: business outcomes and, crucially, superior execution.
All right, let's walk through this framework. Just look at the flow here. It starts with performance outcomes. See? That forces you to define what success looks like in business terms, not in tech terms. Only after that do you move on to technology capabilities. What can these tools actually do? Then, you zoom out to technology trajectories. This isn't about the latest feature on some new app. It's about understanding the direction the whole field is heading. And then it all comes down to number 4, strategic execution. Because we all know a good plan that's executed brilliantly will beat a so-called perfect plan that's implemented poorly every single time. So that framework gives us the what, but what about the how? Let's actually see how this plays out in the real world. We're going to look at the direct advice Dr. Malhotra gave to a CEO who is trying to put these exact ideas into practice. You know, the goal, as this quote just puts so perfectly, is to bridge that massive gap between the high-level, 36,000-foot view strategy and the day-to-day reality of your business. It is all about translating that big vision into tangible action right down where the rubber meets the road.
What's so powerful about this advice is how it focuses on strategic awareness, not on, becoming a coder. For example, just understanding the shift from supervised learning, where you have to feed an AI labeled data, to unsupervised learning, where the AI finds patterns all on its own, that's a huge strategic insight. And check out that last point. The real knowledge isn't in a textbook or a course. It's happening in real time in the dynamic conversations inside communities of practice.
Hey, remember that superior strategic execution point from our framework a second ago? Well, this is what that looks like in practice. It's not just about your internal team. It's about knowing the entire landscape. Who are the partners, like McKinsey, that can help you implement this stuff? Who are the top tech providers, like UiPath? You have to have a map of this whole territory if you want to execute your strategy effectively. And this all brings us to what might be the most powerful idea in this whole guide. It's a fundamental shift in perspective. You see, the true future of AI in the workplace, it's not about replacing people. It's about augmenting them. So what exactly is AI augmentation? Well, think of it as the synergistic combination of what machines do best, which is processing unbelievable amounts of data, and what humans do best, which is creativity, innovation, and real understanding. It's all about partnership, not competition.
This one quote really just sums up the entire philosophy, doesn't it? Success comes from partnering smart minds with smart tools. It's a human-centric approach where the technology is there to serve our unique, creative, and strategic abilities.
This new reality of AI augmentation creates a pretty radical new mandate for every single leader out there. In a world of constant, unpredictable change, your only sustainable advantage is your ability to adapt. And that means you have to be willing to, as the source says, obsolete what you know before others obsolete it.
And this brings the final challenge directly to you. This isn't just about your company's AI strategy anymore. It's about your personal strategy for staying relevant. So the question we're going to leave you with is this. Are you ready to proactively, to intentionally, self-obsolete what you know?